If you're a female over 40 and tired of the hot flashes, you may want to hear this. Hey, it's Lori Fetrick, Ice from the American Gladiators, and I've got something real to share with you. You know, I have lived my entire life in the gym, on the arena floor, and now coaching others to be their strongest selves. But let me tell you, when midlife hits, it hits hard. You start experiencing sleepless nights from night sweats, brain fog, low energy, and don't even get me started on the mood swings. All sounds fun, right? That's why I started taking State. State isn't some quick fix or trendy gimmick. It's clean, science-backed supplement that is designed to support your hormonal balance, boost energy, sharpen mental focus, and help you feel like you again, no matter what stage of life you're in. Whether you're a woman navigating menopause or a man trying to reclaim his edge, there's a formula made just for you. For women, head to stateforwomen.com. For men, stateformen.com. Look, I don't promote anything I don't believe in, and this stuff works. So if you're ready to get back in control, feel balanced, and crush life like never before, go check out State today. Because strength is not just physical, it's how you show up. So stay fierce, stay strong, and stayed up. Click the link below and get your discount today. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the Go Figure podcast on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. What's up, everyone, and welcome to Go Figure, the podcast where we cut the fluff, get real, and dive into everything fitness, health, and life. I'm Lori Fetrick, former American Gladiator Ice.
And I'm Ashley Randall, certified trainer, wellness coach, and your go-to for keeping it real about living your best life.
Here on Go Figure, we're busting myths, sharing truths, and having the conversations that make you stop and say, Go Figure.
From fitness fads to mindset shifts and everything in between, we're here for the stuff you didn't know you needed to hear.
Crushing it, stuck in a rut, or just trying to keep it together, we've been there.
So get ready to laugh, learn, and level up. This is Go Figure. Let's do this.
Welcome to Go Figure, a new podcast series here on Chillin' with Ice. This podcast is where fitness, wellness, and real talk collide. I'm your host, Lori Fetrick, along with the incredible Ashley Randall.
Testing. Are we on? Are we live? Lori, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for joining me today on our podcast, Go Figure.
Man, it's been a break. We've been on a break.
It really wasn't that long of a break.
It wasn't. We had a bunch of episodes banked.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been that long since I've seen you.
Right.
But it's been a long time, at least a month since we've been in here.
At least, Jeff,
Yeah.
right? About a month and a half.
But anyway, I'm pumped. I'm glad that we're back. What have you been doing? Tell me.
God.
Give everybody an update.
All right, so let's see.
Where have you been?
What I've
What have
been
you been
working
doing?
on and what's been coming up and everything. I'm very, very close to signing with a new agent, which I'm really super psyched about.
Okay.
So theatrical, also influencer. It's kind of like that balance of both, which is awesome. Really excited about that.
Okay. What's the difference between an agent and a manager?
Manager takes more percentage.
Oh, okay.
They actually do.
Okay.
But a manager will manage more of your career. So in other words, they will, they'll put you, like for influencers, okay, they'll put you in front of brands.
Okay.
They'll submit you for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Personal appearances, possibly. They might do that.
But an agent wouldn't.
An agent is strictly theatrical and commercial. So when they get the breakdowns of a commercial and you fit that role, they'll send you out. Same thing for film.
Okay.
So I've had an agent forever.
Okay.
And so I'm just looking for a different one because of the fact that obviously he's more of a middle of the road.
Where'd you find this guy?
It's all about like asking people,
Okay.
who do you recommend,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Because if you're just going in cold,
Yeah.
it's really hard to find an agent.
I'm sure.
In LA. I mean, it's just like representation is just, but like, for instance, I've auditioned 7 times for TED, the television show.
Yeah, yeah.
And all different types of roles. And I'm just at my age and I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
What's happening? He goes, here's what's happening is somebody in there, either a producer or a director, really likes you and they're trying to find that role that's perfect and everybody agree.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So
Okay.
he goes, it's good, that you've auditioned 7 times. He
Yeah.
goes, because it's coming up.
Okay.
So by the 5th time, I was like, really? Can't they just use my other reels? My other auditions? You know?
You're like, do I really have to do this again? It's funny
know.
you say that because I actually saw like a little quote or something today that said like if you knew you were 25 times away from failing, wouldn't you just want to get past those 25
Oh God,
times?
you just keep going.
And it's interesting. Do you hear you say even just the 7? Because you're like, to some people they might be like, oh, 7 times. But what if you knew that number 8 was the one?
Oh, absolutely.
So then you'd be like, all right, fine. Like how many
Yeah.
auditions can I go on? Like let me just get through these 7
Yeah.
so that I can get to number 8.
It is an absolute numbers game.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
I mean, even when it comes to like booking anything for films, you
Okay.
know, I mean, you could walk into the room and you could remind somebody of their ex-girlfriend, ex-wife,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. They may love you or they may hate you because of that reason.
Yeah.
No matter how your audition went.
Interesting.
So it's very subjective,
It's
you
like
know.
when
So if you
people
have
won't
that
pick
look,
names for their kid because they're like, oh, I don't want to pick the name Brittany because like that girl was a bitch in my high school.
Yes.
But you're like, it's just a
Yes.
name. But they're like, no,
Yes.
no, it reminds me of
I
like
know.
whatever the name is or something.
So
No offense to
that's really
Brittany's.
cool. The other thing that we're doing right now is actually, believe it or not, we are planning, and it's happening. It's going to happen in 2026, but it's an American Gladiator cruise.
No.
And it's going to be with Norwegian cruise
Okay.
lines. And that's pretty exciting.
Okay. So what are you
there's-
guys going to do? Just like battle
Well,
each other?
No, what we'll do is there's going to be a really good handful of us.
Okay.
We'll do meet and greets. We'll have dinners. We'll have some type of small show on the ship.
Okay.
You know, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be super cool.
So if that takes off, then we could probably do it on kind of like maybe, let's say maybe twice a year,
yeah.
you know, kind of thing.
Where does Norwegian go?
That trip will go down to all the Bahamas and
Okay.
everything.
I mean, that seems like a good
Yeah,
place.
I've
Yeah.
never cruised.
Neither
I'm
have
not
I.
a cruiser, I'll
No,
be
yeah.
honest.
My mom wants to go on a cruise next year for her 80th birthday to Alaska. And I'm like,
Oh, you got to go though.
I mean, that I for sure
Yeah.
do want to go. But I'm like, I've never been on a cruise and I'm going to go on a cruise with my mom.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be, stay tuned, guys, next year.
I know you'll love it. It's fun. Alaska's beautiful. I do want to go to Alaska.
Yeah. That part I'm excited about. The cruising part.
Let's see what else. Oh, flag football's coming up.
Okay.
I got my celebrity flag football.
Do we have
in-
health
in,
insurance? Because that sounds terrible.
in Oklahoma. I know. I'm like, can I just be the referee?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if I'm really going to play.
Okay.
Let's be real. I
Okay.
mean, yeah,
Is
I'll
this
run
arena
around.
inside, outside? Do we know?
They have an entire arena
Okay.
and they are selling tickets and it is televised. And
Okay.
there's, let's see, who's a bunch of celebrities. Some UFC, some really high up UFC girl
Okay,
is going to
cool.
be there. I'm like, yeah, I want to be on the same team as
Yeah.
her.
Right. You're like, don't put me against her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, God, just living life.
Yeah.
I want to I'm getting back into golf again. If it's-
Okay.
oh God, if
Yeah.
this
If the I know.
weather-
We've been having the
I'm-
worst weather in California, guys.
So
It's bad.
not a cold weather
No.
player.
It's not even that cold. It's like 65, 67, but like so gloomy.
Yeah, it's gross. out.
So gloomy. I'm over the gloom. I mean, you guys know that like I just came from Denver where it's sunny. I always argue with people after living in both, you know, quote unquote sunny places. Truly, Denver does
Right.
have more sun.
Yeah.
100%. Even if it's a cold ass day. But this is miserable.
It is. And I don't know what's going on with
It's
it.
not even like a break in the afternoon.
It's not even June gloom.
No.
We're not even in June yet,
No.
which is really bad.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
Okay.
good point.
May shower's supposed to be, yeah, I don't know what. how
But
that
I would actually,
saying
okay,
goes.
but I will take this over rain.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because rain is just so frustrating. It's
know.
like everyone doesn't know how to drive and then it comes in your, so
Especially
no rain.
in Cali.
Yeah,
Oh my
and we
God.
can't handle rain right now because of all the fires. Like there would be mudslide season. So okay, no rain. Okay, fine, we'll take
So
this.
no, what
weather.
else is going on? Just yeah, everything's been great, really
Okay.
busy, and I mean that's it's taken up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Just planning all that and
Because you're always so busy.
meetings constantly, doing all that shit.
Lori's always so busy.
Dude, we are all busy. We were just talking about this before it happened. I'm gonna grind until I die.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is true.
I am because I love it.
I
love
know
it,
it's
dude.
true. I get it.
I do
get
love it. It's fun.
I just saw you last week. We were in Beverly Hills
Yes.
for a V-Shred shoot.
Yep.
Which was fun. That's been going good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing all kinds of fun stuff with them.
What else have you been doing?
My dog comes back tomorrow.
That's
Yes. So,
And how long has she been gone?
she's been gone for
a month?
6 weeks.
6.
6 weeks.
went
Almost
fast.
as long as I had her, which is crazy.
Okay, that's the last time we did our podcast.
When I got rid of, I shouldn't say got rid of her.
I know, right? Yeah, when you dropped her off.
Really?
So it's been
Okay,
6
so
weeks,
yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so she's been gone, and people think I'm joking, like when I say that she went to prison.
Right.
They think I'm like, oh, like that. Like, no, like she is literally in a maximum security prison in Lancaster, like with the inmates doing this whole thing. So I don't know if I talked about it before, but
You did not, and explain that a little bit, because a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, inmates, like high
Right.
security. I don't want them
Yeah.
around my dog."
And I was too. I mean, completely honest. At first, I was like, wait, what? Like, that just sounds terrible. I mean, I've seen probably every episode ever of Locked Up. I understand what goes on. Like,
Right.
I'm like, what is happening here? You're going to take my precious little
My
dog.
poor baby.
Yeah. But after talking to the lady who runs it and like learning more about it, I just thought it's a no-brainer. Like, for me to be, I mean, the whatever, like organization, I guess, doesn't run unless there's people like me sending their dogs.
Yeah.
So when you think about it that way and you're like, okay, without people like me putting our dogs into the program, then there is no program. And these guys, this might be the only thing these guys really have to pour into. And so obviously they've had to not only like show some skills of actual dog training.
I was just going to ask that question. I mean, do they learn how to become dog
Yeah.
trainers? They take all these courses
Yeah.
on how to become okay, that makes sense.
So they go through, I'm sure they have to go through like just prison requirements, you know, to be able to even
That even
like,
sounds funny.
but even to be able to get into the
Yes.
program, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know what those requirements are, you know, good behavior, you know, whatever. So I'm sure you have to have some requirements even to be able to get into it. And then once you're into it, yes, you do have to learn. And there's probably some mentorship from other, you know, inmates that are in there, whatever. But they have a whole program where the dogs go in and the guys are living in more of like a gymnasium style. So they're not in their cells. So obviously, again, that means the inmate has shown that they don't need to be, you know,
They're
in the
good.
cell. And so they have, the way it was described to me is like in a gym, the inmates are like on their bunk beds and then the dogs are in crates on the other side so that they're basically with them 24/7. Each dog will rotate between 2 to 4 inmates.
Oh,
so
that's
that
cool. So they don't have just one.
Correct. So
Okay.
they don't get super attached to one. It's good for the guys and for the dogs, apparently. So that's not just like, you know, super hard. They'll teach them up to 30 commands. So it just depends on your dog and like what your dog can absorb. But, you know, things like sit, stay, place, heel, you know, they teach them how to play in a group with other dogs that are there.
Do they train you in a way
Yes.
when you get
So
her back?
on Wednesday, when I pick her up, I will go back to the rescue, Pause for Life. Shout out Pause for Life, because this, I mean, that was such an accidental thing. I mean, literally, I just stumbled upon them because of the fires. I wanted to do something to help and found them, went there. You know, again, I was literally just going to foster this dog.
Right.
And so, you know, all of the things. But when after we decided to adopt her, they had said, oh, by the way, any dog that's adopted through us can go to this program that we have. And I was like, wait, what? And they would even let you send if you already have a dog in your home. So let's say, you know, you wanted like whatever, just the same behavioral for both dogs. Now I didn't send Carly because she probably would have hated me.
Well, and she's also older. How old is she
Correct.
now?
She's 10 and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For
she'd be
Roddy,
like, bitch,
that's
don't be sending me to no
old.
loud ass
Exactly.
cement prison.
She's like
Hell
100
no.
years old in her own
she's
life.
Like,
She's like, I
I'm
just wanna
sleeping on the
sleep."
couch. I'm living the good life.
Exactly.
Don't be sending me there.
Right.
So she did not go, but I just thought how cool that
Yeah,
you could send
it
it, you
is.
know. And I think what's also cool is before I sent her, they give you this whole form to fill out of behaviors that you've noticed. So, you know, one thing that obviously you met her, but she can be very timid.
Yes.
You know, and so I really wanted that to come out. I wanted them to work on that, to socialize her with other dogs, to socialize her obviously with the people, which is a big reason why I wanted to send her.
When she's timid like that, it actually makes the person afraid. Because when
Yes.
she gets timid, she looks at you and her eyes get really big and she kind of backs up a little bit. And it's just like, oh, shit.
For
Is she,
sure.
She's going to bite me? Is she going
Right.
to attack me? What is it? You know?
Yeah.
Most people don't know that.
Correct. And with having Carly, you know, I obviously learned a lot of things that I wanted to do differently. So I was like, okay, what can I, you know, do that I've learned from Carly? Obviously, when you have an aggressive breed dog, like you said, you know, you do have to take it a little bit more serious. You know, I think if you just have like a lab or a golden retriever and they're like, ooh, a little skittish, no one thinks twice. But you've got, you know, a pit bull or a Rottie or something, people are like, oh gosh, like what's
Yeah.
wrong with your dog? I'm like, nothing. What's wrong with you? Like she's the one who doesn't
Yeah.
want to get by you.
Right.
So yeah, so next Wednesday when I go, they'll give me like an hour breakdown. And what's also cool is some of the people that work at the rescue are, I guess, what's the word? Like, do you say rehabilitated? There are some inmates that
Okay,
have potentially also gotten out. So because
Rehabilitated.
of this program, some people who maybe even weren't, going to get out or whatever, have been eligible for parole, have gotten paroled, are out, and now are immediately getting into a job, which again, it's like, cool. How cool is that? Like, I think more programs need something like that. Like, learn a skill, practice the skill, and then if you do get out, go into that immediate workforce, rather than just like, okay, well, now what?
So Pause for Life, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pause for Life sends the dog to this program, but can anybody take their dogs basically as program? Or is it just through this kind of charity?
Question. I don't know if anybody can do that. I'd have to find that out. That's interesting. But I do know that they do free community training. So it doesn't matter if you've rescued a dog from them. I have to check, but I know on their website, they have once a week, they have free, like basically obedience class. So even if you don't have a dog that you rescued from them, because again, the whole point of a lot of these shelters and organizations is to help people, because there are so many dogs that are just returned or surrendered because they're bad, because they have behavior, because they bark, because they lunge.
And it's not the dog.
No.
It's usually the person.
Exactly. But it's like, hey, if they try to mitigate all of the hoops you'd have to jump through. Hey, you don't want to rescue a dog? We'll send it away for 6 weeks to help you train it. Hey, you have a dog that's misbehaving? Cool. Come here. We'll give you free training. Like, it's really minimizing the reasons for someone to be like, I can't have this dog, which I think is absolute fucking bullshit. Like, if you own a dog and you get rid of it or surrender it, like, don't ever let me fucking hear about it.
Okay, well, that is, people who get dogs have to understand that you have to have the income to take care of dogs.
Correct.
Because April worked at Minivet. She was a vet tech for years.
That's right.
And she would come back and she'd be like, I fucking hate people. Because what they would do is people would bring their animals in for something and the dog needed it.
Right.
And they're just like, yeah, that's kind of expensive. How much is it to put them down?
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that just gave me the chills.
Absolutely.
Put the dog down instead of getting what?
Yes, exactly. Like a broken limb.
Oh, yeah, let's just kill the dog.
They do, though. People fucking do.
That's insane.
And
to me.
They don't take care of them, like, as far as like routine checkups or if something's wrong with them. They just don't take them to the vet because they don't have the money. If you don't have the money, don't get an animal.
Correct.
Because they cost money like a fucking child.
Yes.
They really do.
No, it's so true. I mean, even with me now having two, I'm like, when I agreed to keep her, it was more of like an emotional, I was kind of in that moment. But there was like a week after that I thought, okay, like, did I bite off more than I can chew? Like, I'm living at my mom's house at the time I was. So I was like, this is easy right now. I'm living in a big house with a big backyard. I just open the door. They go outside. This is awesome. What's going to happen when I start to look for an apartment? What's going to happen if I do move back to Denver and I'm now on a 2-day road trip, with two huge dogs? Like,
well, not only that, some of your places that you actually live, they only allow one dog.
For sure. And a lot of them don't allow aggressive breed dogs.
Or weight limit.
Correct. So there was a definite moment that I was like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? I now have two huge Rottweilers. I'm in process literally of trying to find a place to live.
Yeah.
So, and the money thing, it's like all the stuff, flea medication, food. Like, you just start to think about all
Carly's
this stuff.
Going to last forever, just before I say this.
Forever.
Carly's going to last forever.
To infinity.
Right. And after infinity, well, then you'll have the young one still.
We'll have Emmy Bear. Yeah. Yes. And she'll just be, Yeah.
So that's where you got to kind of think of it too.
Exactly. And it's also going to be really good for me too, because as much as I hate to say this, like, Carly is slowing down.
Yeah.
I mean, she's 10 and a half. She just doesn't even have this. I mean, we have had some incredible years, hikes and waterfalls and just like we've gone and done amazing things together. But I don't know if she wants to or physically can even still do some of that stuff. And
she probably can, and she'll try.
She will.
Because dogs show absolutely no emotion whatsoever. They don't show when they're injured. They don't show if they don't feel good. Well, they do when they slow down. But I've seen people take, oh my God, I've seen people take dogs on hikes, and you're just like, I know the hike that I'm going on, and I'm like, you're taking your dog on
that dog
this?
Shouldn't be on this. Yeah.
Right. Because that dog is going to be laid up for the next 2 days exhausted, especially if they're older and they have arthritis.
Yes.
That's the thing that people don't understand. Older dogs get arthritis.
Right.
just like older people do. So you're going to take them on these 2-hour hikes and come home and just ignore the dog. Like, it's not a big deal when the dog is probably dying the next day.
Just laying down, you're like, oh, wow, you look tired. Like, no, it can't walk. Its hip sockets are probably
elbows, everything.
For sure.
So
yeah, no, that's a good point. So it'll be good for me because I seem to have no off switch with that. I don't sometimes realize, that she is older. So it'll be good to just have her kind of, chill and then still have Emmy that I can really like get after it with. And go and do and like adventure with. But that's been pretty much like the biggest thing. That's really just been going on. I moved.
Yes.
So that's exciting. I'm no longer living with my mom, which we did talk about that before.
Yes.
So now I'm in my own place. Yay.
Independence again.
Yes.
Well, you were only there, what, how many months? 6 maybe?
6 months. That's a long time, though, to be
I don't know if I could handle it. Okay, so my sister always goes, you need to go spend the night at mom's. I'm like, why? And you did 6 months, so I commend you.
I like how you say it's not a long time, and then you follow with, you don't know if you could even do one night. And I'm like, bitch, I just did so, like, you want to talk about submersion therapy? Like, I was
oh my God. I love my mother, but wow, I have to go kudos and props to you.
There was definitely some moments that I was just, it's like I guess I don't have children, but I could almost maybe relate it to that where you're just in it and you're like, okay, this is just, there's no point in dwelling on this because this is just what's happening. You're just going to be this and I'm just going to be this, and like hating it or arguing or butting heads every day is going to be miserable. So we just kind of have to find some.
Does your mom miss you now?
You know what? I think she might. I mean, yeah.
And it's good that you have that time because she is older.
It is. And we're still very close. I mean, we're like, not even 6 miles from each other. So we're still super close. I can go over there and check on her. But having my own place is really, really nice. It's funny because I never changed my driver's license when I moved to Denver. I just kept California. So it's like I'm officially back as a California resident and California driver, but I never like fully, committed.
You're just like, nah, I'm not going to fully commit.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to change my license plate or my driver's license or.
Right.
But okay, I'll come back.
Yeah.
So now I'm back officially, which is also crazy to be living in my hometown again for like the first time in 20 years.
That is a long time.
I know.
That's a very long time.
It's a weird, very surreal feeling. Like everything's so familiar, but then also it's like, but I haven't lived here for 20 years. So it's like reestablishing like even silly things like where am I going to get my nails done? Like I need to find a hairdresser, who has the best burger? Like where do you go for this?
Yes.
Like I need to get a massage, like things that you're like, I know this town so well, but then it's like, I don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of weird, but cool.
I'm going to be the same way because eventually, yes, I will be out of here. And I thought of that. I'm like, oh my God, I got to find. And I started thinking of my hairdresser and I started thinking of the eyelash lady and my nails and then my gym. I did change gyms lately and that's kind of a new, fresh kind of thing. I got out of Gold's and went over to Crunch. Just a different change of environment, kind of thing. Yeah. And even that's different though, because you're so used to seeing the same faces all the time.
Yes.
But
it's good for you.
It is.
It's good for you. I have a friend that actually, we were just talking the other day. He is an Android user and he's going to switch to iPhone. And we were kind of having this conversation about like.
It's such a huge deal with people.
But he was like, it might be good for my brain to like learn a whole new programming and processing system. He's like, that's where I think, sometimes our like brain almost dies in those things because like you said, you drive to the gym, you do like it's almost autopilot. Yes. But now you have to think, okay, new wiring system. I go to this gym. Oh, where do I park? Where is this machine? Like small things.
And who's that person staring at me?
Right.
I'm not used
but
to
like
that.
it makes a difference when your brain's having to like even just think and make different pathways instead of just da. So
you go on an autopilot.
Yeah, easily.
And a lot of people that have 9-to-5 jobs, as a matter of fact, go on that autopilot.
Oh yeah.
They get up, they do this, they do that.
yeah.
Everything is such a routine.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
No.
I am not that person. That's why I never wanted that 9-to-5 job. It wasn't that I couldn't do the job. I just didn't want to do that job day in and day out and same thing, same grind, same everything. Right. My brain needs more. I need stimulation. I need something to aspire to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't just sit in that little cubicle. And so many people did. But yet at the same time, here's the other flip side of that. Now they're all retired, getting their pensions and their 401ks. And I'm still out here. Gosh, grinding. But that is the path. That's what I chose. And that's something that My girlfriend's son is graduating high school this year.
Okay.
Kai is. 18, 4.0, grade point average. Actually, it's a 4.2. Smart as shit. And all of a sudden, for the moment, he went, I think I'm going to go in the military. And I just went, okay, hold on.
Boy, don't be doing that.
First of all, no, because you're wasting your 4.2.
Yes.
The only thing is what you could do is go to school for 4 years, get your BA, and then actually, if you still want to do the military, come in and go into the officers program.
As an officer, yeah.
Then your commission.
That's a great,
Then you get money.
Right.
Then you get your pay, and then you get your pension, and you can become a captain and
For
all
sure.
of that.
For sure. I actually thought about that years ago. I thought I was in a very bad place and rough relationship in San Diego. And it kind of almost felt like the only thing, this was before my move to Denver, but it kind of felt like the only thing, like the only answer and like safety and like security.
And how old were you at that point?
29. So I think I was even right on the cusp because I think to go into officer school, I think you have to be like 31.
Okay, I don't know the age
limit. It's something, I was very, very close, or maybe 30. And I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, I'll go in either to the Air Force or to the Navy. I'll go in as an officer. I'll do, things I could take.
I could see you in a uniform.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Fun. I could take like the more of the medical route, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend that was in the Marines and then also transferred into the Navy and went through the Navy SEAL program and was a SEAL. And I talked to him and he was like, girl, like kind of like what you were saying about the job. He's like, I would support this 100%. He's like, I just want you to know. And if I butcher this, any military people, I apologize. But he was like, they basically own you.
Oh, they do.
And it's not just like, oh, that was fun, or I don't want to do that anymore.
Right?
It's like when they call you and you need to do your, whatever your yearly thing is, whatever it might be, when you're this, he's like, that's not a joke. Like, you don't get to just be like, oh, I can't come this weekend, or I'm not doing this. It's like, no, like they own you. So
Just
whatever
kidding,
you
I don't want
learn,
to play anymore.
right? There is none of that. There is none of that. So just that alone, kind of like you were saying with the job, it was like, I'm sure for some people that's great. But for me, I was like, okay, but what if I don't want to do that anymore? What if I don't want to play anymore? It's like, doesn't matter.
Did I tell you that I actually went out for the police academy at 50?
Stop.
Yep. 50 years old.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so nervous. I'd be the worst cop.
I
would shoot everybody.
Okay, but here's
just
the
by
thing.
accident.
I didn't want to. Okay, so here was my thought.
I'd be like, I'm scared. Boom.
It's like I want my own rules when I go in, of course, and that is I didn't want to be on the streets.
Okay.
I actually wanted to become an instructor at their academy for their physical fitness.
Ooh,
that's what I wanted that job.
Okay.
But apparently, to get that job,
you have to go on the streets.
Go through the ranks and go on the streets. And
isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah, I know. It kind of sucks. You got to put your time in. But my friend I have a lot of friends that are obviously officers, and they're like, you would hate it. And also what it would do is it would break you.
I'm sure.
They go, your spirit and your happy, uplifting attitude would be gone of what you see out there. And I was like, I don't know if I want that.
No.
Not
at this age.
Well, and here's the other thing. I didn't make it anyway. I went through the written test.
Okay.
I passed that. I went through the interview. I passed that. So I was going through the whole process.
Okay.
But I think in the interview, the biggest one thing, literally, which is interesting, is drugs. Okay. You can't have they don't want you to do any drugs at all, ever.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you because.
So if I'm 20 years old and I did a line of cocaine, they're like, oh.
Correct. Because I had a friend in college who knew he wanted to be a cop and go into the force and go farther and farther. And I remember that he lived with like my boyfriend at the time. There was like 4 guys in the house. And I remember that he was like super strict about stuff, when he was doing his interview, they even came and like interviewed the roommates and this. And I remember he was always so adamant, like, I can't this, I can't that, because if I this is my goal. And if I do this now, like it would never. And I'm like, how do you know that at that age?
They actually told us because
what if you
they
don't
put
know?
us all in a huge auditorium room. Okay. Before we went into our interviews and everything, they said, if you pass this, they're going to do a background check on you. And when they do the background check, they will go through your trash. I was like, what? Oh, yeah. They will be looking for things. They're looking for the bad things. They're not looking for who are you as a person, what you went through, your experience.
Know if I like that.
Exactly. So it's a huge turnoff. They make it so hard.
narrowing the pool of people, which
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason for that. But to your point, what if, and I don't want to say this guy's name, but like, what if Bob
Yeah.
didn't know at 20 that he wanted to be a cop? So let's say he smoked weed. Let's say, yeah, he did some coke. But then at 27, he's like, wow, I had this, I had a life experience and now I want to go into the force. So because he did this one thing at 20, like, and again, I don't know.
Oh, and then the other thing was if you had anything bad on your credit.
The fuck?
Oh, yeah. Not even joking. Not even joking. If you had anything bad on your credit, because that came up. I remember I had a collections for some medical something a long time
which I feel
ago.
like happens to people
Everybody
without they even
has.
know.
Everybody
People go
has.
buy a car and they're like, oh, by the way, you never paid your water bill from 20 years, and you're like, oh.
Or your phone or your cell phone bill. Or like
Exactly.
you go to a medical office and they supposed to charge your insurance and the
Correct.
insurance didn't pay for it. So it goes on to your credit score if you don't
Right.
pay it. My point is I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to, I mean, look, it was a blessing in disguise. That is
I'm
definitely
sure there's a reason for it, but it seems very limiting.
because they feel as though if you're not responsible to take care of your own finances, then
Okay.
you're not a responsible citizen.
Okay, but again, what if that was 15 years ago?
Agreed.
What if in those 15 years you've now realized, wow, I could do all these amazing things and whatever, protect,
Right.
serve.
And you're going to cut somebody out because of something bad on your credit score?
Right.
You
Or
know,
'cause you
or maybe
smoked
that
weed
something
once.
happened 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. But yes, and that's the problem with, honestly, that's
I
the
know.
problem.
I'm like, nah.
But anyway,
Damn.
besides all that, so that was it was interesting.
Yeah.
All the different things that we've tried
It's
throughout our
interesting
life.
because I've thought about even like, I think it'd be super cool to be a detective.
Yes.
I'm really good at that kind of stuff, like super hyper observant, putting the pieces together. Oh, this person said this and oh, they have, this license plate and, whatever. But to your same point, I don't want to do all that. Plus, clearly, according to you, I would freaking fail because I've definitely lived a life.
Right.
So that's interesting. It's
know.
a very, well, I guess neither one of us are meant to be. I'd be the worst cop ever.
I think
I'd
I
either
would
be the
be
most
too.
scared chicken, and I would just be like, I'm not going in that house. I'm not going
And
in that car.
they'd have
I'm
a
not
call
going
and they'd
to
be like, blah, 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 blah. Inside the house, I'd be like, hey, Bob, you go in first.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not anywhere near there. They're like, really? It shows your car's right there. I'm like, nope, not anywhere near that. Can't go. Oh, there's a robbery in a house? Yeah, don't call me. I'll be too scared. Or I'll just start shooting everybody and be like,
my
I'm
God,
so
that's
scared.
funny.
Yeah, that'd be bad. Imagine if we were together. I'd be like, you go first. I'd be like, no, you go first.
Is that a Cagney and Lacey type of situation?
Meanwhile, the guy's like running out the back door. I'm like, you go in first. No, you go in first.
How about we just make a television show about it and we'll just call it a day?
Okay.
we'll be detectives on the show. Okay. We'll have
Yeah, your
guns. We'll have
agent.
fun.
Your agent will get us. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
We'll create a whole new pilot.
I know.
And it'll be a good show.
So what else are you doing?
V-Shred's going good.
They do kind of keep us busy, don't they?
They do.
It's
They
so
do.
funny.
I love
It's
it,
like
though.
my mom's, what are you doing? Shooting videos.
Yeah.
For who? V-Shred. Oh.
But you know what?
The next day she'll call, what are you doing? Shooting videos. For who? V-Shred. Is that all you do? They keep me busy, Mom.
Yeah. But I think the thing that's interesting about that is you had made a comment about like, auditioning.
Yes.
And, like all of those things. And it might remind you of somebody, da, 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 da. And we've talked about this before with V-Shred, but I think what is a hard thing is it doesn't matter how cute you are, how fit you are, how funny, how nice, all of the things. Like if you're not converting
Right.
with the audience
And
like,
America likes you or doesn't
right,
like you.
Yeah. And so it's like, man, it is definitely an interesting job or role to be in because again, you can be and do all the things I think that you and I would normally do.
Okay, but we've put ourselves in that position.
True.
Okay, so we have put ourselves in the position to where it's like influencers, fitness influencers, things like that, which honestly, I never really thought that I would be a so-called fitness influencer.
Yeah.
And it's it's funny because we were talking about our audience and our dynamics, right? To where it's like, I have like 50% men. And I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. You're like, men love lesbians and women want to look like me. And I was laughing because I was like, I know that from my background and being a gladiator, I was never meant to be that person that, what's the word I'm looking for? I was not the relatable one.
Oh.
I'm the inspirational one.
Okay.
Because I was a fucking gladiator.
Yeah.
How many people are gladiators?
Yeah,
That
that's a good
actually
point.
have taken their body to a certain point and actually played the games and went through
sure.
everything, toured
sure.
around the United States,
Yeah.
is worldwide known.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to be the girl
Right.
that goes, oh God, yeah, I can totally relate to that body
Right.
because I can be that body.
Yeah.
Maybe as I get older and I get a little softer.
But still, I think the foundation that you've built is, like you said, is more inspiring than relatable. And not in a bad way.
No, I agree with that.
It's more of just like, oh shit. If anything, I mean, thankfully I'm in the industry that I'm in and I know what I know, but even going, back to what I knew in my 20s, if I knew in my 20s what I know now, I would have busted my ass even more in the gym because it's like, I always use the example of like sand through an hourglass and it's like, it's coming out. And if you're not pouring it back in, it's going to leave. And so the goal is like, hopefully you pour in enough that there's no demarcation and you're like, oh, I didn't even notice it going down. Right. But for some people, they don't notice that or they don't start until they're in their 30s, 40s or 50s.
Correct.
Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's like,
I know, I never want to discourage those people.
But
ever.
You started so young
Yeah.
that's what I think is really cool is that's part of why you can keep this. Because you did all that hard time in the beginning. And like I said, even for myself, I'm like, man, if I knew what I know now in my like early 20s, I mean, yeah, I was still going to the gym, but it wasn't the noise that it is now. It wasn't the lift heavy. It wasn't it was just.
See, so that's where I come into play. It's like I'm an inspiration to people getting older.
Yeah.
Okay, so people that are like, from 35 on 45, 50, they're going to go, holy shit, she's 62 and she looks that way. I need to start now.
You need to start yesterday, but start now is the next best time. Yeah.
Because I want to look like that when I'm in my 60s. I want to be able to walk around and hike and go on trips instead of where's my cane, where's my walker? Oh my God, my knees are going, my back is going. Unfortunately, and there's a lot more people like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Than that are actually in shape and can walk around and go on any kind of vacation and walk up mountains.
Yeah. Which is
so, yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I had to really kind of get into that and think about that for a minute and go, okay, because somebody actually said that to me and they're like, you're not supposed to be relatable.
Right.
You're a fucking gladiator.
Yeah.
You
But
know, and I
that's a really
started
good
laughing.
point.
I was like, damn, they're right.
It is a good point.
But it's just like, I mean, we look at people who inspire us, and that, okay, prime example. I hate to bring this up, but when I change gyms, okay, I go to my gym for a reason.
Okay.
And that is because there are so many people in there that are so inspirational to me. I don't care if they've been training 5 years and their body's rocking. I need to see it.
The new gym or the old gym?
The old gym.
Okay.
Gold's Gym.
Okay.
Gold's Gym has that stereotypical, and there's a ton of fitness girls in there, either competing, not competing. They just look phenomenal.
Yeah.
And guys too. I changed gyms. And maybe it's not all that. And I was telling April, I go, I need visual stimulation.
Same.
That's why I can't train at home.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that because I'm the same exact way. In San Diego, I went to basically a bodybuilder gym. It was actually called The Gym, like literally The Gym. And
there was one in Honolulu, Hawaii called The Gym.
Okay. Yes. And you're like,
I know.
I like it. It used to be called Worlds, but then they changed it to The Gym. In any case, same thing. I mean, almost everybody in there literally is on prep, in prep, bodybuilder. Yeah, you have some that aren't, but to your point, it's inspiring. It's like you go in there, there's no fucking around. There's not like little cardio bunny. I mean, it's like serious shit, it's big. Yes. And then you go to some other gyms, the 24-hour by, where I just moved, looks the exact same as it did when I went in high school. Yeah. And so it's like, okay.
And then you have the group of bros. Which I can't stand.
No.
The group of bros, 3, 4, sometimes there's 5 of them.
Yes.
And they're all working on the same machine.
I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Exactly. And they're like, no, and it just.
We used to have that at San Diego State. I would always joke because they would go on the treadmill or they would go on the elliptical. And I would tell my friends, I'm like, oh, look, there's a sorority meeting over there on the treadmill. Because same thing. I'm like, what? There's like 6 girls and they're all just walking and just talking. I'm like, but yeah, same, it's a very interesting thing for some people where they need to be in an inspiring environment. And then there are the people that can literally go downstairs, no sports bra, no shoes, and crush it in their basement or their garage. And
kudos
I'm like,
to them. God, I wish I was
what?
like that,
I'm like,
but I'm
you just
not.
literally walk right out there and you just start working out. I'm like, oh no, like I can't do that. I need, even sometimes if the gym's too close, I need a farther drive. I need the music on. It's like you need kind of like the ritual
The
of
prep.
like, I'm getting in the car, I'm going, the music's on, like I'm pulling in, not just like, oh shit, I'm already here.
Yes.
Wait, I wasn't ready yet.
Yes.
I need a
No,
little
you're
more
right.
time.
You know,
Yes.
I never even thought about that, but you're so just spot on. I have to drive. It's 15 minutes to my gym. And
Okay.
now the new gym is only 10 minutes.
Oh,
So
boy.
it's kind of like,
You're
okay.
gonna have to take a longer
But
route.
you're right. I crank the music
Yes.
on. I get myself pumped.
Yeah.
I might even start singing loud. Who knows? And it's like by the time I hit the doors, I'm ready to go.
You're ready. Yeah.
But if
I think that's a good takeaway even for people that are listening. Like if you struggle with that, you know, if whatever it might be, maybe find a little routine.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that is quintessential to me. Some people know. Some people, they like I you know, they can just go in, they get off work. I'm like, how are massive kudos to people who work out after work.
Oh, I know.
I'm like,
It's hard. Sometimes I have to.
oh my
Sometimes I
gosh.
have to because
That
I
is-
do
that
wait
to
for
me is
April.
like I will like bow down to you.
I
Like
know.
people who come and take my class like at 5:30 or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, I want to like pour into you as much as
Yeah.
I can because I'm just impressed that after you did all this shit, you still came.
But
and
they
worked
still
out.
came. Like if I'm training at 5 or 5:30, don't think I don't have a Celsius in me by 3. Okay,
That's a good point.
because by
Okay,
5 I'm like,
fair.
let's go, let's
Fair.
go, let's
Yeah,
go, let's
that's
go.
fair.
You know,
That's fair.
But you were saying something about the routine, and it kind of struck something in me, and that is, if you think about it, most everything has like a pre-routine to it
Yeah.
if it's some type of sport. Okay,
Okay.
because as you were talking, I thought golf.
Yep.
Okay, because you were like the pre-routine before you drive to the gym, you get yourself
Yeah.
pumped up, and by the time you're there, you're ready. Same thing with golf. Even just the golf swing before you go up to the driver or anything, you do your pre-routine. You get your mindset before you're actually doing the job that you're
That's
doing.
a good point.
So I think in every type of sport,
Yeah.
there is a pre-routine. And our pre-routine is driving, listening to music, and
Yes.
pumping yourself up before you get into that gym.
For sure.
And maybe if you don't have that, maybe you're missing that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're missing it,
Yeah.
in your routine.
I mean, yeah, because if your routine is getting from the couch to the gym, there maybe needs to be a middle area. You know,
Exactly.
maybe you blast a song, maybe, change the clothes, whatever it is.
So that's what we've been doing.
We've been working out and working. Shocker.
Working out and
moving.
working. But here's the thing. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. We're getting paid to train.
Uh-huh.
And that's
I know.
nice.
If 20-year-old Ashley could see
See?
me, she
There you
would
have
be
it.
like,
good for
dude,
you.
you get to work out, keep your body in shape, and then go basically display that body as your job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, girl.
Yes.
Like, and I
Exactly.
have two like dream dogs. Like,
Yes.
okay, like you're not doing that bad.
You
not
are-
doing that
you're crushing
bad.
it.
So,
You're
all right,
crushing
guys.
it. All right.
Well, thank you for joining us. We're glad to be back. Lori's gonna keep this all intact while she goes plays flag football.
I know. What are you saying? Getting life insurance for? How about just health insurance? Not
I
life
just said
insurance. It's not
health
like I'm going to
insurance.
die.
No, I don't think you're gonna die, but like to be continued.
However,
Wear a mouth guard and a helmet.
I don't think I'm going to be like hitting the ground that hard, girl. I'm gonna ask if
Okay.
I can have a whistle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll just have you on the referee side. Okay, perfect.
Thanks for listening and tune into. Oh, do not forget to like and subscribe.
Do not forget.
Do not.
We'll never forgive you. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.